All right, everyone. On behalf of Bryant's Alumni Association, welcome to our second of four webinars this fall designed to share alumni professional expertise with members of the Bryant community. Before I turn the program over to our presenter, Ezenwayi Amaechi, I need to provide you all with a couple of pointers for today's webinar, which will last for approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour. All participants are in a listen-only mode. However, we encourage you to comment and ask questions using the question and answer feature located in the lower right hand of your screen. I'll be moderating today's webinar, and we'll make sure Ezenwayi gets to answer your questions when there is a short pause in the presentation. After today's web presentation, you will receive a survey. Please take a moment to provide feedback because your comments are valuable as we expand our professional development programs for alumni, parents, and friends of the Bryant community. Now I guess I should introduce myself to everyone. Hello, my name is Tyler Brum. I'm a 2013 Marketing and Communications graduate of Bryant. I've been with the university for a little over 3 years now, managing our online communications to alumni, parents, and friends of Bryant, as well as hosting many of our regional networking programs. If you would like to see where we will be next, simply visit bryant.edu/alumni events. Also, please feel free to contact me at any time. My email address is tbrum@bryant.edu. If you have any questions or need help with anything, I'm here. So, I am very proud to introduce today's presenter, Ezenwayi Amaechi. Ezenwayi is a results-oriented researcher, trainer, lecturer, author, and entrepreneur, passionate about women leadership and economic development. She has over 7 years of teaching, research, and consulting experience with organizations and educational institutions in the United States, Nigeria, and Mexico. Ezenwayi is a 2004 graduate of Bryant University, 2007 MBA graduate of Johnson & Wales University, and holds a Ph.D. in leadership and organizational change from Walden University in Minnesota. She's also the founder of Amaechi Market Strategies, a marketing firm, and is currently an Assistant Professor of Entrepreneurship at Johnson & Wales University. She has also been a superstar alumna of Bryant, presenting to students, alumni, and parents during reunion at homecoming weekends for the past 2 years, and even in the classroom and outside of the classroom before then. I'm very happy to turn the microphone over to Ezenwayi for today's presentation entitled Business Success Starts with Planning. Take it away, Ezenwayi.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Very, very nice to meet you and to be here today. First of all, I want to thank Tyler and the alumni team for having me here. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for all you do for me. And welcome, everyone. And please, just like Tyler said, do not hesitate to ask any questions as we go through the presentation. So today we're going to talk about business success starts with planning, and here we go. So some of the topics of discussion today will be, obviously, we will start with introductions, why planning is important to any business, reasons for writing a business plan, lenders and investors, because they are different, components of a business plan, organizational plan, mission, vision, and goals. Those are very, very important as well. Your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, the analysis that goes with that, a marketing plan, a financial plan, appendices, and of course, again, questions and answers. Again, please do ask questions as we go through this process. A good business plan guides you through each stage of starting and managing your business. Researching and writing an effective business plan could help you establish and have a fruitful business venture. By the end of this training, I hope that you'll be able to craft a mission statement, conduct a SWOT analysis, understand the difference between different components of a business plan and how you can create yours, okay? Why planning is important? Why is it important for any business to plan? Just in general, I always tell my students, we plan our lives when we have to go from most of us. I consider myself a road warrior. I like to drive everywhere if I can, and I have to plan my trips. Where do I stop? If I'm going from here to DC, for example, do I stop in New Jersey? Do I stop in Connecticut? Where do I stop and how is it going? How am I going to get there? I pull up my GPS, I do the old-fashioned GPS, and I type in the address and kind of map my way to get into DC. And the same thing happens in your business, particularly a small business owner. You need to know how to deal with your business, and you need to plan your business. So business owners are able to set goals and objectives and determine ways to reach them. I always tell individuals about goals and objectives, and they have to be measurable. You have to be able to know, be able to reach that goal that you set. And then objectives are ways to be able to reach those goals. It also helps business owners to understand the type of business they're in, how much they need, their sales strategies, where and how needed personnel can be found, how much profit to expect. And all this part actually goes with the feasibility analysis. That's another big important step. If you haven't written a business plan yet, or written your business plan for a particular business you're looking to start, I would start with a feasibility analysis. Feasibility analysis, for those of you that don't know, helps you actually understand what it is. If your idea, which is very important to us, as business owners, we get excited about this idea and it's going to be the next best thing, and it could be. But you need to really make sure that this idea that you have, that it's going to be the next best thing, is also going to be marketable. That there will be somebody, or a group of a target market out there that is willing and able to, have what we call the purchasing power to be able to buy this and into this next best thing and this next best idea that you have. And so and also talks about the target market. You do your marketing research in that, within this time. You understand, your financials. What is it that you need? It's a grueling work in terms of the feasibility analysis, but it's one of the best things you can ever do for yourself as a business owner. If you already have a business plan and want to improve it, this is also the part to do it. I know it's not in the PowerPoint, but I'm telling you now, it's very, very important. And then, like I said, in there, it will help you to know how much it is that you need, your sales strategies, where and how needed personnel can be found. All that information will be in your feasibility analysis. Reason for writing a business plan: it serves as a guide. Again, I talked about how if you're trying to go from here to DC, how that would help you. You need to be able to know how to get from point A to point B. And another thing, when people hear business plan, some of them, there's this freak out that goes because people think of this thick thing that they have to go through and write and all that stuff. That actually is the research that you do. The business plan, with what I've heard, I've gone to a lot of business plan competition and sat in front of, not me, but like where the investors are, critiquing business plans. I've heard over and over again, 20 pages or less, because most of the time what they're really, looking for is they're not looking for you to write the best thing out there, but for you to have the principles and the information that you need to go from point A to point B again. And then this business plan, you need to be able to look at it from time to time. Within I tell my students, we have this conversation every 3 months, or maybe 6 months. Look at your business plan. It's not something you finish writing and you put it up on the desk somewhere for you to collect dust. That's not going to help. Then another reason for writing is for lenders and investors. Lenders could be an SBA or the bank. They know particularly what they're looking for, and so for you to do anything, you do need for them to lend you something. They need to know, okay, you have this idea, this is awesome, but how are you again going to make money with this idea? And they also want to know that you have a skin in the game, so to speak, because no lender or investor will give you all the money you need. I read over and over again how everyone that have is very serious about doing, having some kind of business would often, even if they don't have money, they will maybe put up their car or something as their collateral. You need to start at least maybe 10,000, 5,000, but this all has to come up after you determine how much you need. And then you put in what you can, and then the investors or the lenders can then, give you the rest, because you have to know what you need in order to tell them what it is that they need to give to you. And then a business plan is the key to knowing where your business stands at all times. Going back to what I said about, looking at it as often as you can, not too much, but at least maybe your goal would be to look at it every quarter or every 6 months to make sure that what you started off as, this is my goal, this is my mission of, doing this business, that you still keep into that mission. We as individuals, even as a human being, we tend to go to different places and to different thought process when we're doing something. But this business plan is supposed to help reel you back in to making sure that you're staying true to your goals, making sure that you're staying true to your vision and your mission that you started off with to begin with. Any questions so far?
Nope. We have no questions so far. We just have a couple of guests who are saying that the audio is a little muffled. So if we could maybe just speak at a slower pace, that would solve that problem. But other than that, we are fantastic. So keep up the good work.
Okay. All right. I apologize about that. I hope this is better.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Again, lenders and investors, what is the difference? What is the difference between lenders and investors? Lenders, like I said, are like the SBAs and the banks and, people that will give you at an interest. They would give you money, maybe 10% or however many percent that they want to. The same thing with investors. They will have to get some kind of interest out of it, but the thing with investors are that they are like the venture capitalists or the angel investors. Any one of those individuals would be able to. They are the ones that they're very high risk in terms of pursuing what they see as good ideas. An investor, for example, a venture capitalist, for example, would be Bain Capital. I'm sure most of us have heard of them, and so they would be an example of an investor, and they have lots of them out there. All you need to do is just do a simple Google search for investors out there, and they will pop out. Here in Rhode Island, I'm in Rhode Island, and so I also have the business incubators. Those are some, for those of you that don't know the term, incubators, just like those is people that would help you with your business, and they believe in your idea, and they will give you space and within their organization, and they will provide you with all the resources that you need in regards to an advisor or a marketing person or just all kinds of resources in order to have your business grow. And after that, there might be an agreement where they get a certain percentage once your business gets off the ground. And wouldn't we all like something like that? The biggest one here is Data Springs. Here in Rhode Island, there's Hatch, and there are lots of it. Again, a simple Google search should be able to give you that. In terms of information, in when you're doing research, what you're looking for, I tell my students you can go to your trade organization, you can go to local SBA. You can go to, to SBA, you can go to your local Chamber of Commerce. There are all these different places you can get information in terms of research, and they will also help you. People are willing and able these days with entrepreneurship, willing to help people out however it is that they need, okay? And what they're looking for, we'll talk a little bit about that, but most of the time in the business plan, which is why, it's important, but it's also good to write like an outstanding business plan for yourself and for the investors. Like I said, your executive summary. I can't talk enough about your executive summary. because right there, most investors, I read something that says it takes about 6 months to write a very good business plan and about 5 minutes for investors to decide whether or not they are willing to take, to invest in your business. The executive summary is where to go. You want to write a narrative. I will repeat, a narrative executive summary. By writing those type of things, you're able to find that the investors are able to find information and that would help them understand where you're going to. That will talk about, and you will also help them know the amount of research you've done. You should talk about your target audience, how much you plan to sell your product, how in terms of where you location. So it will talk about literally all 4 P's without really mentioning the 4 P's. So it talks about the price and the place, and it talks about the distribution process and everything else that you need and why you chose the location you chose. In that executive summary also, it will talk about, who the management team is. We as entrepreneurs, I say we because I am one, we tend to be very focused on our product. Again, we think it's going to be the next best thing, but most of the time, the investors are like, I hear you about this product, it's going to be the next best thing, but what about, again, the market? So it has to be like, you have to also think like an investor, think from their side of view what they could be possibly looking for, okay? Again, components of a business plan, cover sheet, whatever you want that to have, including your name, if you have a team or it's just you, the address, the phone number, all that, just basic information, table of contents so that people can have easy access to where they need to find the information, that they need to so that they don't have to flip through all the pages. Executive summary that I was just talking about right now, again, I can talk about how important it is. In there you should also find either your board of directors or your mentors. I call them actually. At this point, you would have a mentor or a group of people who have been where you're trying to go to, because those people that will determine to the venture capitalists or the lenders or whoever it is that, okay, you're not going into this on your own, and you have a team of people, individuals who have experience, and they will help you, along the way. Also choose people that have, in terms of mentors, people that care about you, people that you can easily go to and get information from, because that makes a difference in, the relationship that you're having with these people. There's the organizational plan, which talks about the type of business you choose or you want to form. The common one, the 3 most, ones that we talk about all the time, that's a prop, partnership, or corporation. And within those, you have to really do your research to find out, okay, which of these do I really want to choose and do I want to be a part of? Because depending on the one that you choose, that will also depend on the tax, that type of taxes that you have to pay. So you have to make sure that, that you do that. And then there's the marketing plan that has the target market and the SWOT analysis that we're going to talk about a little bit more. And all this other, your competitors and what they have to offer. Okay, and so that you have to know who your competitors are. Most entrepreneurs go into business thinking that, well, yeah, I know them, yeah, maybe they will help or not. But you need to ensure that these people, the competitors, that you know who your competitors are and what they are offering. That way you can get the right information in the marketing, in your marketing plan and in your business plan in general, okay? And then there's the financial plan, which is also very important that the venture capitalists look at. They look at your summary, executive summary, and then they go straight to your financial plan to see what you have. Okay, you're going to take my money. How are you going to use this money, and how are you going to do a better job with it? And, of course, the appendices, okay? Organizational plan talks about the description of the business, brief company history, your mission, vision, strategic goals, and objectives, which we should have a measurable outcome to go with it. I would say about 3 to 5 goals. Don't go too much with the goals. Products or services, whatever it is that you're going to be selling or bringing to the general public. Your intellectual property, location, legal structures that I talked about, management, and then your insurance consideration is also very important. Okay. So your mission, your vision, and your goals are as well as, it's important as everything else, okay? So you talk about what, who, and how. So an example I give is I use my personal mission to globally eradicate poverty among women and children through education and leadership development. Now, I put globally in red because I've heard people talk about how, how much can I really do, in terms of doing the global, thing. And I tell them I want to do global, and I will try to join as many people as possible to get this thing done. However, that is my goal. I have the big, hairy, audacious goal, as Jim Collins in Good to Great said, but don't worry about that. I'll just try my best. But so the Globally Eradicate Poverty talks about what I'm going to do. The Among Women and Children talks about who I'm helping out, and True Education and Leadership Development talks about how I'm going to achieve that goal. I hope that makes sense. Again, the global eradicate to globally eradicate poverty is the what. The Among Women and Children is the who. True Education and Leadership Development is the how. And of course, I have my vision to bring an end to poverty, leveraging the power of education. I believe in speaking and educating people. Most of the women entrepreneurs, which is also my love that I work on, those women that I work on in developing nations, I don't have to send them back to school. But what I can do is go to them and bring a level of education to them, and that's what I've been doing. Then my goal is to, at least I have one goal right now, to strategically travel the world in the next 2 years, educating and economically developing women and children. I'm also doing that right now. My research is concentrated on women entrepreneurs, again, in developing nations, and I've had the opportunity to travel between Nigeria and Mexico City to do that and to do research, and went back over the summer, this past summer, to give presentation and actually training to those women that I interviewed in Nigeria, and I'm working on one for Mexico City, because I believe in you do research and you go back and you educate. So whatever your mission is, stay true to it and hold on to it.
Hi, Ezenwayi.
Any questions?
I have a couple of questions. I'm actually going to morph them into one, so we'll make it a two-part question. The first is, for those who are beginning a business plan, and it's their first time, they're really not sure what to do or how to start one. Is there any resources out there, whether online or in person, any companies, like your company, for example, Market Strategies, should they be looking to reach out to people there, people in marketing strategies, any specific kind of company that helps out with business plans, or people in certain career fields? And then the second part of that question is, can you suggest a good marketing plan template to use, if there's one online, or if you know of any, or if you have one yourself? So that's kind of the two-part question. Thank you.
There is. You're welcome, and thank you for the question. In terms of someone to reach out to, I used to actually be the one who would have raised my hand up to say, yes, come to me, I write business plans. Unfortunately, I've kind of stepped away from that. I currently just do training. I only train people for business plans. But I honestly, a simple Google search would give you those type of information of who to go to for a business plan. But if the person also wants to talk outside of this, I would be more than happy to do more research to help them out. on how to go about that. In terms of marketing plan templates, again, I will be more than happy to go out to talk to them outside of this environment, but I've always gotten my templates and the information I need from online. So I don't have anyone in particular right now I can think of.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. And then, so we actually just have another question that came in, and yes, there will be a full copy of the slides from this presentation as well as the audio recording from this presentation for everyone to access after. That will be on our website, which is alumniconnect.bryant.edu, and I'll also mention at the end of the presentation. And then we'll also share Ezenwayi's contact information if anybody wants to reach out to her with any specific questions, and talk offline about it. And then I actually have one more. So, and this one is from Rita. And Rita asks, hello, the Small Business Administration has good resources. Oh, this is actually more of a comment.
Yes.
And then so does Small Business Development Centers, and there are also templates within Microsoft Word itself. So thank you very much, Rita, for that. And Ezenwayi, you said you're not working on plans right now, but if someone wanted to connect with you, can you be contacted for business plan questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to do that in terms of the questions. Like I said, I'm not working. I can't do I don't have the time to write the plans for people, but I am transitioning into doing the training for what should be within a business plan, and then kind of work with someone if they need further help after that. Yes. Please contact me if you have any questions. And Rita, thank you so much. That is true. SBA, I don't know how that skips my brain. I tell my students that every time. Go to SBA, and that just skips my brain. So yes, SBA is a place to be. They have all kinds of resources online. And then sometimes even local, like I said, Chamber of Commerce and all those people also might have information. But the best place to start with is SBA. Thank you, Rita. I truly appreciate that.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Yep, we do have a couple of more, but I'm going to let you go through another slide, and then we'll touch base again.
Okay, thank you very much. Right now, we're talking about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I could spend the entire presentation on this because this is one of my favorite slides to talk about. I even at a point had some students do this on themselves, because when we start talking businesses, they see it as something abstract. They can't really connect. So when I start with talking about it as personally, in your own self, it makes a huge difference for them. And so your strengths is, what are you good at? What is your business good at? What your weaknesses? What is it that your business can afford to kind of work on, to get better on? And then opportunities is, what is it that your business can benefit from, or what is it that is happening? Again, like you said, the external environment analysis that reveals certain new opportunities for profit and for growth. Is there anything that you can grow from that you're currently working on? And sometimes you don't even know that until you take the time to look into, do a thorough analysis of your organization to get that going. And then threats. It's something from the outside that there's nothing you can do about it, but it's good to be aware of it. So, for example, you live in a flood zone or something. Well, that's a natural disaster that there's nothing you can do about it. However, you can, get an insurance and, be on, just different things that you can do, or maybe put a different kind of things in your building to be able to help, so that when it comes, the impact wouldn't be too much. If you live in a hurricane zone, so things like that, or things in, changes in the market. All kinds of things that you cannot do anything about, but at least you're aware of it, okay? Marketing plan. For your marketing strategy, you will need to understand who your prospective customers are, where they are located, how you will reach them, who your competitors are. Again, listing 3 to 5 competitors and describing them, really doing a thorough analysis of who they are. most of the time your competitors tell you exactly what they want, what they're doing right on their website. You just have to read, between the lines. How will your business compete with those competitors and even the indirect ones? There are direct and indirect competitors, and these things you will, kind of get to know when you're doing it. And then what the industry trend is. Is something a fad, or is it really, going to stick? For example, everyone, knows about fidget spinner right now. I mean, there's people are collecting them and keeping them and doing all kinds of things. Is that going to be, safe for now, or is it a trend? Should you jump in, or should you, not? So those are things you need to look into. Also see, projected that the medical devices in this, field or whatever it is going to rise, in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, employment is going to, so you have to know and learn about all those things, and this you learn when you do your feasibility analysis. Financial plans, sources of that and use of funds. Venture capitalists especially like to know this. So I'm going to invest because I also believe in this thing that I'm doing. I'm going to invest $10,000 into it. So let's say after you understand what it is that you need, the equipment and everything. So you need $100,000, and you are investing 10 into it, and you need another 90 from investors and lenders and everything. But you have to list them and know exactly what you need in order for that to happen. You also need to understand your tax documents, especially if you are, going to lenders, from the banks and everything. You need to know your credit score, because they look at that information and from you. And of course, pro forma income statement, balance sheets, and cash flow. These three things are very important. If you are a new, starting your business from scratch, these are pro forma means, something that, oh my gosh, I lost my track. Anyway, pro forma means projection and assumption. So you have to make assumptions and project this information, that you need, depending on the type of business you are trying to start and develop. Okay. Any other questions, Tyler?
We have a couple of questions, but since you have one more slide, Ezenwayi, I'll have you finish that slide, and then we'll go right into a kind of a Q&A portion. Okay. So if anyone has questions while Ezenwayi is finishing her last slide, please type them in using the questions feature, and I'll make sure that they all get answered. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. And of course, the last part of the business plan is appendices, which is also important. These are records that support statements and decisions that are made within the organization, marketing and financial plans. Who are your personnel? Again, what experiences do they bring to the table? This is something else, especially the management team, the venture or investors, they look at your management team. They want to know what their experiences are, their backgrounds are, what it is that they're bringing to the table, and how are you going to manage this fund should I decide to give it to you. And so you want, if you can, as possible, bring people with, different backgrounds, someone with marketing background, someone with financial background, somebody with, operations or something, background, just different types of backgrounds to bring to the table. That way, your business would not, everybody will have something to do, and to contribute to this particular business that you're starting. If you're doing it all by yourself, you still can surround yourself with great team. I have been sole prop, and I've had to do that, have people, but within me and surround me in terms of networking. And when I would meet somebody that was a financial planner or someone that was a graphic designer and also knew how to develop a website, and they did well for me, I would keep them on my team. Should any of my clients ever meet them, I would just contact those people and have them, connect them directly with my clients. One thing I have to say is just be careful who you deal with, because if you're connecting somebody to your clients, that's your name and your reputation on the line. So be very careful when you do that. And then there's owner's tax documents, credit reports, like I talked about, reference letters, should they ask for it. Location analysis. You know, the three things in retail, like we know, is location, location, location. Those are very important. Legal documents, if you have leases, contracts, agreements, or any of those things. And then demographic and psychographic information is also very important in this process. Okay? And ask me a question. It's free.
All right. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. One from Pamela. Can you elaborate on insurance considerations?
Okay. Insurance considerations is, you know, what you are, you know, like I explained earlier, if you live in a flood zone or hurricane zone or any of those things, you would determine what type of insurance you would have to take out, particularly if you have to, you know, if you have a physical location. Now, if you are a person that, you know, a service business that don't have a physical location, you still have to have insurance considerations because, you know, you don't want to be, you know, should anything happen and you're sued, you don't want them to come after you personally, but the insurance can help you with that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then another one. What are some authoritative competitor information resources?
Very good. I would go for competitor resources. I usually go this. Oh, the name escapes me now. But you know, if you go to, I would usually. I'm in school, so I go through my library sources, and they have some information there. And please forgive me. I will have to get back to the person if they ask me to, but. Another way to get competitor information, like I said, is you can get it on their website. You can get it from, mainly their website. And then when you do go through this information that escapes my mind right now, you know, it helps you with that. Is there a way to get this person's information so that I can get back to them?
Yes. I will definitely share that. Does anyone else have any questions before I close it out? And, you know, this presentation on business planning, Ezenwayi, we could be here, you know, for hours with Q&A because there's just so much to a business plan. So, you know, like I said, we will share Ezenwayi's contact information if anyone wants to continue this more one-on-one with Ezenwayi. Right, and it looks like we're all set with questions. So I just have a short little speech, and we'll close it out. Ezenwayi, anything you want to say before I close out?
I want to say thank you again to all of you, and for just having me and for being here. I truly appreciate all of you that attended. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. So on behalf of everyone here at Bryant, I'd like to thank Ezenwayi for a fantastic presentation and discussion. Most of all, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. Please look for our survey in your email. And then I'd also like to mention that we have 2 webinars scheduled for early and mid-December. Those topics will be work-life balance and a new field for us, long-term care. So more information about those with the links to register will be on our website shortly. And like I said before, this whole webinar has been recorded. So this recording will be on our website along with the slides as well as Ezenwayi's contact information. So this concludes today's webinar. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful afternoon.